Good morning. It's Thursday, July 4th, 2024. Peace is a part to the prosperity of our nation. Let peace reign. On the news this morning, police increase surveillance over rise in one-chance robberies in Port Harcourt. Labour private sector fault fresh increase in electricity tariff. And on the foreign scene, U.S. President Joe Biden to remain in presidential race as pressure to drop out grows. I'm Ifechuku Moyelo with the news. Now, the Rivers State Commissioner of Police, Olatunji Disu, has directed the Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of operations, the Rumokoro Divisional Police Officer, and tactical team commanders to increase surveillance patrols in the area to ensure that one-chance robbery operators are brought to justice. Spokesperson of the State Police Command, Grace Iringikoko, said this in a statement following an exclusive report by Nigeria Info FM, which had taxi drivers and residents saying there is a rise in one-chance robbery and pickpocketing along the Rumokoro to Choba axis of the East-West Road. SP Iringikoko advised passengers to be cautious when boarding commercial vehicles and to avoid engaging in deceitful conversations. As you may know, one chance is a form of robbery which criminals disguise themselves as commercial motorists to dispossess people who board the vehicles of their belongings and push them out afterward. Residents told our correspondent that the criminals now use POS machines for their operations. Moving on, the chairman of the Caretaker Committee of Obiakpo Local Government Area of Rivers State, Chijioke Ihuo, has thanked the Commissioner for Transport, Collins Onuwo, for upholding the truth in the wake of the political crisis in the state. Mr. Ihuo spoke while visiting the Commissioner at his residence in continuation of his stakeholder consultation aimed at ensuring better governance. Now, he said the visit is a deliberate effort by his team to garner input and support from key stakeholders as he assumes governance of the local government.
And I want to also thank you for standing firm, coming out to tell Rivers people and indeed our local government the truth, that let the right thing be done. Most persons are afraid of coming up, but he came out and just to say, look, I am supporting the governor of Rivers because our brother has done his service for 8 years without intervention by anybody. In fact, this state was more or less inside his pocket, and for you to come out and stand for the truth, we want to thank you for standing by the truth, because it's not an easy task. And we are here to thank you for the support you are giving to us in our local government. You cannot know it all. We also have to seek your fatherly advice on how we can move our local government forward. The government belongs to all of us.
On the spot, the State Commissioner for Transport congratulated the Obiakpo Council boss on his appointment, describing it as well-deserved. Also, the Obiakpo CTC chairman visited a former CTC chairman of the council, Lawrence Chukwu, who assured Mr. Ihuo of his support. Professor Chukwu said Governor Fubara has committed no crime in constituting caretaker committees in the 23 local governments.
Even nature itself abhors a vacuum. So the government did the right thing, and Rivers people are behind him. Those crying wolf today have series of caretaker committees. I standing here, I was a caretaker committee chairman of this local government. So that our governor has instituted or constituted caretaker committee, heaven will not fall. Has heaven fallen? No! He's on the right track. So we are behind our governor. Don't be deterred. Most of the opposition in the state are from other.
Our correspondent reports that the Obiakpo CTC chairman also announced the appointment of Hano to Thank God as chairman of Tenement Rate Levy Committee, Oscar Carlo as vice chairman, and Joshua Wallo as secretary, among others. Away from that, a youth leader in Oyibo local government area, Ojukwu Stephen, has criticized the Rivers State Commissioner for Youth Development, Chisom Wale, over his plan to contest the October 5th local government elections. Mr. Ojukwu, in an interview, urged the public to ignore the purported endorsement of Chisom Wale for the chairmanship position. He said neither stakeholders of the Simplified Movement in Oyibo nor any other group ever agreed to endorse the state's Commissioner for Youth Development for the chairmanship position in the local government area.
These claims are entirely false and misleading. The Commissioner for Youth has never been endorsed by genuine simplified stakeholders of the local government area. This alleged endorsement is a fabrication orchestrated by a few individuals with personal interest, and it does not by any way, any means whatsoever reflect the broader consensus of the simplified family in Oyibo local government area.
Mr. Ojukwu, who is also one of the leaders of the Simplified Movement in Oyibo local government area, accused the youth commissioner of already taking over the duties of the caretaker committee of Oyibo local government area. Now, reacting to this, a former permanent secretary, Sonny Okere, said the Rivers State Commissioner for Youth Development is the most popular politician in Oyibo with a clean record. In a statement, Dr. Okere said stakeholders, including a serving permanent secretary, 3 former commissioners, the CTC chairman and members, all board members and serving and past political appointees, x-rayed the leadership style of their Simplified Movement leader, who is the Commissioner for Youth Development, and considered an undisputed age-long zoning system in Oyibo, which favors Kim from Umuihueze clan, his integrity and forthright disposition, capacity and credibility. Now, Dr. Okere said, above all, Mr. Wale's loyalty, support and penchant for the governor of Rivers State were tested in the event of commissioners resigning their appointment in the state. He said the youth commissioner has never been given the opportunity to vie for any elective positions before now, but has remained active, not passive, in the delivery of successive candidates in all the elections in Oyibo since 2010. The statement said anyone who wants to test their popularity should also try. Now, the Rivers State government has issued stern warning to operators of heavy-duty vessels plying the Woji-Aleto waterways, which is linked to the site of the ongoing Woji-Aleto Refinery Road, currently under construction. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Special Projects, Roland Obed-White, issued a warning while inspecting the work progress of the Woji-Aleto Refinery Road to ensure its speedy completion. He said any vessel seen plying the route while work is still in progress will be considered as an act of sabotage and made to face severe penalties for attempts to obstruct the state government's development stride.
The completion time, which is expected to be 14 months, is duly delayed due to the frequent movement of vessels at night along the construction site. This has disrupted and caused damage to most of the piers in the construction of the bridge. As a ministry, we are using this medium to strictly warn captains and owners of marine vessels to desist from such act. Anyone caught will be treated as a saboteur and an enemy of Rivers State government. Rivers State government will not tolerate such an act any longer. If anyone is caught, he or she will be prosecuted and be dealt with.
Dr. Obed White, while outlining the importance of the project, noted that Governor Siminalayi Fubara is poised to deliver the project owing to its economic importance in the state.
When His Excellency Sir Siminalayi Fubara, the Governor of Rivers State, came on board, we represented this matter and he commenced funding. This project, when completed, will serve not only the people along that axis. It will reduce travel time to Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Calabar, and up to the Ugoni, Andoni, and Opobo axis. It will also enhance socio-economic development and also promote real estate.
Our correspondent reports that the 7.58 kilometers Woji-Alesa Refinery Road and 200-meter long bridge was awarded by the previous administration in 2020, but works were stalled due to inadequate funding of the project. In another news, the Community Development Chairman of Rumodara, Silas Chukwu, has urged local government area authorities to do their due diligence when approving building plans and construction sites. Mr. Chukwu's call followed the collapse of a 2-story building under construction in the area yesterday.
Most times you see people build without ascertaining the texture of the soil. And that is supposed to be the work of the people that certify the building plan in the local government. Before you approve a site, they should visit the place. Tests should be done, not just being in the office and they accredit the project. The building approval department have a lot to do to make sure there is no reoccurrence to this kind of thing. Nobody will want his building to collapse. He's answerable to that. When he's back from his trip, he will make himself available to any agency that is inviting him.
At least 3 people were injured during the incident on Oboro Road, Rumodara in Port Harcourt Metropolis. A building under construction fell on another building, trapping a woman and 2 children. They were later rescued and taken to a hospital. The mother of one of the children spoke to our correspondent.
So I came down from Keke. People were looking at my face. I said, like, what happened? Like, people were looking at me now. So they were now saying calling my last baby name, fun. I said, what happened? So when I walked down, they said that the building that was building close to my house collapsed and scattered my house, and my baby was inside there. So they now rushed out to the hospital, and two other person, a woman and a child, they now rushed out to the hospital and rushed my baby to the hospital. Our property, they are looking for a way to, even if we can get some of the things, but we are just trying to get them.
Another man also sustained injuries in the incident. Still to come, Labour private sector folds fresh increase in electricity tariff. Stay with us.
The Royal Majesty This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
You're welcome back, and now the rest of the news. As politicians gear up for the October 5th local government elections in Rivers State amid an ongoing political crisis, observers are wondering where the pro-Fubara group Simplified Movement would fall in the grand scheme of things. Now, this is after the Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara recently said that the PDP has failed the people of Rivers State. Governor Fubara said the state was currently relying on what it could do based on truth instead of party politics, adding that the state would no longer be held back by party affiliations, but would instead stand firm on its own soil to defend democracy. The PDP, in the response through its National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologunagba, has said they are optimistic that Governor Fubara will not leave the party. But the political scientist Obinna Wonodi says members of the Simplified Movement who wish to contest the local government election can decamp to another political party. Dr. Wonodi, a lecturer at the Department of Political and Administrative Studies, University of Port Harcourt, spoke to correspondent Onyeka Chimosu on this. Now, a public affairs analyst, Ken Allen Wakama, also spoke on this. On his part, a stakeholder, Chizi Yomasila, said it will be a good opportunity for members of the Simplified Movement to test their popularity. Meanwhile, the spokesperson of the Labour Party in Rivers State, Gogo Wellington, says his party is open to new members. Moving on, the acting Eze Ebeye Lobo III and Akalaka the 12th, Eze Cassidy Ikebidi, have been told to leave no stone unturned in ensuring that the newly inaugurated Ebeye Security Committee operates in full swing to bring to an end the carnage perpetrated by the people of Ebeye ethnic nation. Addressing newsmen at the Port Harcourt International Airport yesterday on his way to the United States for Osama Ebeye annual convention held in Atlanta, a United States-based social-cultural body of Ebeye indigents, Eze Kelvin Anugo, Eze Ebeye Lobo III, and Akalaka the 12th, assured the people of Ebeye of heaving a sigh of relief on insecurity as the sponsors of the mayhem will soon be unmasked and appropriate measures taken. Responding, he assured the Security Committee and the people of Ebeye of his total commitment to uprooting the seeds of discord that have thrown Ebeye Nation into what he called an unending catastrophe and abject poverty. Eze Ikebidi, who is also the Eze Wako II, spoke about the negative effect of the insurgency, which he said has lasted for over a decade, and assured Eze Anugo that he will not betray the trust and confidence reposed in him. In other news, the Nigeria Labour Congress, Trade Union Congress, and organized private sector are faulting the latest hike in the electricity tariff payable by customers in the Band A category. Catch the business news at 7 for more on this. And on the international scene, U.S. President Joe Biden worked to calm senior Democrats and staff of his campaign on Wednesday. This is as reports suggested he was weighing his future after his disastrous debate with Donald Trump last week. Mr. Biden held a closed-door lunch with Vice President Kamala Harris at the White House as speculations mounted over whether she would replace him as the party's candidate in November's election. They later joined a call with the broader Democratic campaign where Mr. Biden made it clear he would remain in the presidential race, and Ms. Harris reiterated her support. Now that's a wrap on the news this morning. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. Police have increased surveillance over rise in one-chance robberies in Port Harcourt. Labour and the private sector have faulted the fresh increase in electricity tariff. And on the foreign scene, US President Joe Biden is to remain in the presidential race as pressure to drop out grows. The news was edited by Chioma Ezenwafo. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Moyele. Many thanks for listening.